Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Yes, I'm very concerned with Disney Plus's involvement with Doctor Who. Let's be absolutely clear here. They're not just broadcasting Doctor Who globally, they're actually co-producing Doctor Who with the BBC and Bad Wolf Productions. So there's three entities involved here. I think the BBC's creative control is very small. I think Bad Wolf's creative control is 50%, and I think that Disney Plus's creative control is 50%. Now, if you remember rightly, a few years ago, Torchwood Miracle Day was an amalgamation of a BBC production with an American television network whose name escapes me. Torchwood Miracle Day wasn't the great Doctor Who spin-off it was previously. It was set in America with a little bit in Wales. It simply didn't work. It flopped, and Russell T Davies spat his dummy out and says, I'm making no more because you didn't support the show. We didn't support the show, Russell, because you tried to Americanize it and get into bed with big corporate American broadcasting business, and you and Julie Gardner and Bad Wolf and Jane Tranter are doing the same thing again. Now, I want you to not misunderstand me. I stan Russell, I stan Jane Tranter, I stan Julie Gardner. I'm happy that Phil Collinson's back. I love these people, but I am a straight talker and I'm a straight talking fan, and I'm not going to mess around here. And I just see this same situation developing again. If Disney Plus were just a broadcaster globally, I'd be happy about that, and that's how it was sold at the beginning. Now, I've been reading portions of Russell T Davies' Doctor Who magazine interview. Because what makes me nervous is he's trying to reassure us. That worries me already. He says it's still the same show. Well, Torchwood Miracle Day wasn't the same show as the previous 3 seasons of the Doctor Who spin-off. So what's going to be different here? I can already tell with certain elements of casting that, let's just say, Russell's made some concessions to Disney already. But the proof of the pudding, as I always say, is in the eating, and we'll find out what's going on there. But I don't like Disney. I don't trust Disney. I think Disney are a big problem. And the last thing I want is, Doctor Who being influenced by huge corporate, broadcasters, and the big machine of Hollywood. It's the worst thing that could possibly happen. We saw Doctor Who, the movie. There was even talk at one point of Spielberg being involved with that film. Now, I love Doctor Who, the movie, warts and all, but getting in bed with American big corporate business and broadcasting and filmmakers never ends well for the Doctor Who IP. It didn't work out for the Doctor Who movie because that was a pilot that was meant to be a series. We never got the series. That broke my heart because I loved Paul McGann as the Doctor. Torchwood Miracle Day didn't continue because they made a mistake Americanizing something that's wholeheartedly British and worked as being wholeheartedly British. So it's going to be very interesting how this new Doctor Who works. Will they try to Americanize it yet again? Let's not forget how much they tried to Americanize Doctor Who season 6 under the leadership of Stephen Moffat, where we started the first Doctor Who story 2-parter, yes, in America. Now, they were good episodes, don't get me wrong, but it was all about promoting Doctor Who in America. Of course, since Doctor Who's come back, it's always been an injection of American money. That's why you get the great production values and the great VFX CGI on the show. And there's no question about it. Without the injection of American money, it would be the show it was from 63 to 89. Now, personally, I don't mind that show because that's truly the measure of the beast of Doctor Who. It's great concepts, high concepts, but you have to make them look better than they actually do on the screen using your imagination. That's how I fell in love with Doctor Who. with the Peter Davison Doctor. But we live in a very, very different world now. And the kind of world they want us to live in is the Chibnall era. That's what progressives want. They want a soulless, loveless, heartless Doctor Who show. That's what the Chibnall era was. It had no soul. It was very interesting. I decided to watch Star Trek Voyager for the first time, and I started to cry, and I had this realization that we're in this apocalypse now, and it just showed me what kind of heartless society we're in today. Star Trek Voyager has so much love and soul. The characterizations, the representation and the inclusion is done right, and there's huge representation and inclusion here. But instead of just saying to you, here we put an Asian chap on the screen, that's all we need to do. We don't have to give him personality or characterizations. These people go, well, here's some Asian representation, right? But here's his personality, here's his character, here is his backstory, and we're treating him as equally as we do with the white girls and the white guys. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And I just feel, I was shocked how good Star Trek Voyager actually is. We have to do a separate video about that. Janeway is a strong female, but she's not smug or arrogant or unlikable about it. Now, progressives today feel that women must be unlikable and hate men. I don't know why. You'll have to ask them why everything they do is about hatred towards us. That's something I don't understand. That's something I can't explain to my nephews as well, because they're growing up in this scary, heartless, soulless world as well. So it's just interesting when you compare the Chibnall era to Star Trek Voyager. And, Star Trek Voyager has a female lead who is written so magnificently, and you just want to be, you want to serve under her because she's so fantastic. What a character. Kate Mulgrew, what a performance, what a talented actor she is. And yeah, absolutely fantastic. And we're now in a different kind of era in storytelling and entertainment. And as I say, it's a more heartless, soulless era. But I have no trust of Disney, and I hate the fact that they're the ones involved. I would have preferred Netflix. It's just a shame that we're going with Disney here. I think there will be a clash with RTD, Bad Wolf, Disney Plus, and the BBC in the end. Because let's look at the scenario. When Russell T Davies decides to step down, it will be Disney Plus who have some veto rights in who replaces Russell. That's where the problems begin, you see, because they're going to want to, tick some boxes off rather than finding the best person for the job. We've seen some of the people who run their shows on Disney Plus, and then, let's face it, they're not there for their talent. So Disney Plus being involved it concerns me. I hope I'm wrong. I'm very comfortable about being wrong, as I always say on this channel. So I hope everything ends up well, because I love Doctor Who. I love the Doctor Who revival. I'm excited for RTD being back. I'm excited for the 60th. I adore and love Doctor Who. Now, moving away from my concerns about Disney Plus, I want to talk about the so-called 14th Doctor yet again. If you've seen my Doctor Who videos before, and not many of you do watch my Doctor Who videos, to be fair, but hey, I love the sound of my own voice. I love Doctor Who, so it's absolutely cool. I don't believe David Tennant is playing the 14th Doctor, and I think that RTD is bullshitting us here. There's a lot of fans who passive-aggressively believe this is the 14th Doctor because RTD told us so. RTD told you he would never come back to run Doctor Who again. Hey, guess what? We're in a brave new world. So I guess you can't believe everything that the brilliant Russell T Davies tells us. So I don't believe this is the 14th Doctor. One thing's for sure. We've seen Ncuti in David's costume. So there's going to be some kind of regeneration from one to the other. I was going to leap into what I'm trying to say, but I do have a theory. Another theory. I've got lots of theories about this so-called 14th Doctor. So I believe Let's go back to The Power of the Doctor, starring Jodie Whittaker and Sacha Dhawan. Now, Sacha Dhawan's master forces the Doctor to regenerate, and then they create a reversal of that process. But what if the Doctor wasn't totally reversed? What if that false regeneration wasn't totally reversed? Hey, what if, she looks like the Doctor, but actually that's still the master in her? Or maybe an element of the master is still there and still living. So I feel the reason why Tennant regenerated from Whittaker was because of that false regeneration. There's no question about it. That false regeneration was done to have some kind of meaning for the 60th. I absolutely believe that. Because when you look at previous regenerations, there's never been a regeneration where someone comes back and they're wearing different clothes. I don't like the fact. I've spoke about that. I don't want to speak about it again. David not wearing Jodie's clothes and Ncuti not wearing Jodie's clothes is actually, and I hate this word, but is offensive to me. I think it's ridiculous. I love seeing the new Doctor and the previous Doctor's clothes. It's a lot of fun, and as I said before, she ain't wearing a thong bikini. She's just wearing like an overcoat, like braces, a top, and some trousers and some boots. It's not like she's wearing, as I say, she's wearing something, ultra feminine here. But, so if she was wearing a thong bikini before she became David Tennant, I'd understand the stance that RTD has here. So I don't get that. So I believe that David Tennant could be Ncuti Gatwa's master, or that he regenerates or disappears and becomes another version. Maybe. But it could be that David Tennant ends up being the full-time brand new master for the Ncuti Gatwa era. Now, David Tennant is a tremendous actor, and he would nail the shit out of the master. He would be amazing. So that would be pretty cool. Yeah, my theories are pretty kind of out there, like Ruby Sunday maybe being Susan, and this one's a bit pretty much out there as well. But I think with the false regeneration situation, something with the reversal of that false regeneration didn't go right, because it was rushed. They had to do it on the hop, and I'm not quite sure. And then you've got kind of these other versions of Sacha Dhawan's master in The Power of the Doctor as well, or at least one other one. I was getting a little bit confused about that one. Maybe someone can explain that one to me in the comments below. But yeah, I think there's definitely something going on with that false regeneration, and I think that's why Jodie Whittaker became David Tennant, and I think that is what we're doing here. What was the motivation to do all of this in the first place? I mean, I have asked the question, should Jodie Whittaker have been the Doctor in the 60th anniversary special? In reality, she did, but they wanted to move away from her Doctor because they felt her Doctor wasn't working. It wasn't bringing in the bacon. It's as simple as that. So what they're trying to do, and this is the real reason why David or Ncuti's not wearing her costume, they're trying to delete her Doctor. They're trying to move away from her Doctor. That's not me saying that's what I want them to do. That's what I think they are doing. It's the only real explanation why David isn't wearing Jodie's costume. Now, of course, we have to ask this question. We've asked this question before on this channel. Will Jodie play a part in the 60th anniversary? I believe she should. She's played the Doctor. I'd love to see Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, Jodie Whittaker, Christopher Eccleston. Of course, that's probably highly unlikely. Paul McGann, Sylvester McCoy, anyone who's able to stand and get to the studios to play the Doctor should be there in the 60th anniversary. Now, people are going to say, well, we already saw them in The Power of the Doctor. Yeah, well, you can never see all these great versions of the Doctor too many times, and they don't have to be a major facet of the story. Also, what I would say here is we don't really know what's going on. We've seen very little of what Russell is planning for the 60th anniversary. So I'm happy he's back as showrunner. I'm not happy that Disney have some kind of say-so and control over the future of Doctor Who. That is somewhat worrying, and we'll see how it all plays out. This has been Movies TV Mad with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.